Hey, what's up, everybody? I just wanted to make a quick video here talking about something that I care a lot about, and that's cleaning up the ocean. If you haven't heard, one, I'm shocked, but two, Mr. Beast and Mark Rober have teamed up to create what we call Team Seas. Their goal is to raise $30 million to clean 30 million pounds of garbage out of the ocean. They're doing that in two ways: one, by actually funding beach cleanup projects, and then two, they're funding a nonprofit that makes these interceptors which stop garbage from getting into the oceans from the rivers. It's a really cool project. I've got a link below to their website where you can go and donate. For every dollar you donate, it's gonna clean 1 pound of trash out of the ocean. So I wanted to get that out of the way. Go donate to Team Seas, but let's get right into talking about South Korea and how much do they need Team Seas? How is their waste management system as far as stopping actual garbage from getting out to the ocean, and then also just a few things about my experience there with recycling and with being at the beaches. So to start off, Korea does one thing really amazingly, and that's recycling. Over 80% of the garbage that they produce, they recycle, which is awesome, right? The problem, one thing that they could maybe do better on is with their plastics. Plastics, they're only recycling about 40%, which is still really good for the rest of the world. But obviously that leaves another 60% of plastics that are either going to landfills or unavoidably ending up in the oceans from time to time. So they have done some things to try and mitigate that. They have a lot of waterways that lead out to the ocean since they're a peninsula, obviously. They've had some pretty basic filters. I'll throw up some pictures of some of the tools that they've added to those waterways to help mitigate trash flowing into the ocean. Some of them are pretty basic. Some of them are kind of like the interceptor, where it's at a part of the river and it's using a kind of conveyor belt to pull trash out of the river. So they have a variety of things that they're using to mitigate that plastic actually getting all the way into the ocean. But from everything I read, it is still a pretty big issue in Korea that those plastics are still going out to the ocean. And part of the reason for that is that Korea, per capita, is one of the largest producers of single-use plastics. So even though they're recycling 40% of it, they're still just producing so much plastic for the amount of people that are there. So that's something that could definitely happen better. Kind of as a general note on recycling being there, I mentioned that they have an 80% recycling rate for all of the waste that they produce. One thing that's super not common here in America is seeing people kind of walk around and pick up garbage to recycle. In Korea, it's usually older people, like really old people, like in their 70s, 80s sometimes. You'll see them with these big carts lugging around just massive piles of cardboard or plastic or whatever they can find to take to these recycling centers, because they get a little bit of money for that. So really interesting, something I never saw in America that it was pretty different, but a super common sight to see in South Korea. Those are my quick thoughts on recycling, garbage, beaches in Korea. Obviously, there's so much more. If you have any questions, leave them down in the description, or leave them down in the comments. But make sure you're going into that description and donating Team Seas. Help us clean up the ocean. Thank you so much.